Okay guys, so we're back. What we're going to do today is reinstall the brake pads and reinstall the brake rotors. I already showed you how to take them off. It's a 5-minute process. It's not that hard. You can do it yourself. So we're just going to put the rotors, called a floating rotor, because nothing else is attaching the rotor to the hub assembly except the caliper. So you just simply put it on. There's no alignment marks. It just goes on like that. As you can see, these two bolts is where the caliper bolts on also, and it bolts on in this fashion, like that. And when you're putting it, actually it goes right here in front. And when you're putting it back on, the bolts go through the back, through this thread right here, and that's how you put it on. So we're going to put this puppy on, and then we're going to bolt our caliper back on. And that's Santa's little helper, Vincent. Are you helping Daddy, Vincent?
Yeah.
You like it?
Uh-huh.
Is it fun?
Uh-huh. Is it a big one for you, or the small one?
Well, I'm going to need the big bolt in a second. Okay.
Uh-oh, you're getting sweaty again.
Yeah. Daddy sweats when he's working.
Well, you're sweating from the light.
Okay. So we've seen the light. Now, it might be a little of a pain in the butt trying to align these, but you'll get it.
Poppy.
Yes, sir.
You're getting sweaty from the light.
I am.
Uh-huh.
Really? Hey, Vincent, why don't you tell the people how far the Earth is from the Sun?
93 million miles.
Oh, okay. How does the Sun make power?
Nuclear fusion.
Oh, you silly rabbit. What are those explosions called?
Solar flares.
Pretty close. That's what happens when it erupts and it throws stuff out into the air, into space. But good enough. Not bad for a 4-year-old. That's what you get when you homeschool them. And he already knows how to read, but by the way. So homeschooling is not that bad, I guess. And it's in there now. And then you just tighten up your back bolts. I'm just gonna not tighten it up right now for time purposes, but just what you're gonna do is tighten the back bolts. Just make sure that they're tight enough, and then you take this puppy out like that. Take out whatever debris is left out here and whatnot. Now, sometimes when your brake pads are too low and you have to change them, you're going to need to use a C-clamp to push the caliper back. And we'll get our C-clamp in a second. Okay. Well, what you do is you just put the C-clamp in here, like so, and you twist it, so you bring the cylinder back. Don't push it all the way back, because you're just going to push the fluid back up there and you're going to overflow the reservoir. So just push it enough to where this edge right here is just above the lip, or just enough so that you could get your brake pads in there and this puppy to close. And make sure that when you're doing your brakes, you put your it's called a brake disc quiet. I call it putty, whatever. And you put your brake pads in, and they just go in like that. I'm using mine because they were brand new, and I haven't used much of it. And so I just don't want to drive down to the parts store and get new ones. And that's it. And then for the back side, since it's round, you just put some like that. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to put a whole lot, just enough. And you go back here, and it should pop into place just like the other one did. And so it did. I'm going to tighten the back of my calipers. I've told you guys, and just make sure it's pretty darn tight. You don't have to have torque specs or anything for this guy. So now that we put our stuff back on, this thing should just slip into place, and it goes like that. And now we just put our other bolt right here, and there you have it. You don't have to bleed the brakes, by the way. You don't have to. Don't listen to the mechanics. I've been a mechanic for 15 years. Some mechanics will tell you that they have to bleed the brakes and blah blah blah. When you go get your rotors turned, and they ask you what kind of car it is, if you already have your rotors, just tell them it's for a Toyota. As soon as you say Lexus, the price will go up immediately. Don't pay more than $10 per rotor to turn them. And that's it, pretty much. You don't have to get these fancy calipers. They're just drilled, and that's for cooling purposes and long life. I've had these rotors for probably about 3 years, and I've only turned them. This is my second time turning them. So they last a while. They are more expensive, but they stop faster and they cool down. Your brakes last long. As you can see, when I took off my brakes, they were still in pretty decent shape. So that's it. That's how you put your brakes on, and you put your bolt in the back. You also tighten it. Don't have to torque it too much, just enough for it to be tight enough, and that's it. You should be ready. And I'm gonna start posting more stuff, and that's it. Have a good one, guys. Bye.